Hey, biscuits. So I got a lot of these questions after talking about moving over to talking about homesteading on here, about why I want to, how I'm going to do that, what the shift's like. Like, did something bad happen with digital nomading? Nothing bad happened with digital nomading, in particular. It just, I've been traveling with my son since he was a tiny baby, on and off, and we didn't travel during the pandemic because we couldn't, and then we kind of got back into it to see like, oh, what's going to work for us. And honestly, what I really have felt called to do is to homestead the majority of the year and to travel during the winter months when I really can't be in the Pacific Northwest because it's just too dark and dreary. So nothing negative happened. I got some concern, like, are you okay? Did something? Nothing negative happened. We just really feel called as a family. Sounds like a weird thing, right? Like, God's calling. I don't mean God's calling me. I feel really connected to being able to grow our own food, maybe process some of our own meat, do our own eggs, and really get back to that. And I can see with the kids, they are at their absolute happiest when we are out in nature doing those kind of things. And we kind of moved into a city from the suburbs last year in the end of fall, which was just, it feels like just a couple months ago. And we're kind of fixing up this lovely home that I love. It's fantastic. And as we fixed it up, we've really realized that like it is just too urban. We are not, our mail keeps getting stolen, things out of our yard. It's a lovely area. We really realized in this journey as we go through it that like, oh, the country is calling us, it really is. So our goal is in the next couple years to save up and to buy some acreage with a house already on it. And something that I haven't really shared a lot about is that last year I bought a little tiny plot of raw land. Doesn't have any electricity, doesn't have any water. It's not in a location where I would necessarily want to homestead full time. But it's a great spot for a business that I've been slowly starting. It hasn't launched yet. And I guess I haven't talked about it because I've just been so busy, like in the process of just getting it functional to where you could drive onto the land at all. But we're starting a little day spa business there. It's going to be a glamping and day spa. It's going to have hot tubs and saunas. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to take another couple years to get launched because I do not have limitless resources to just create it all at once. But last year we've played there a little bit. You've probably seen like little clips in our videos, and on Instagram I know I've filmed little clips there. So I will give you a glamping spot tour. I actually filmed some of my romance novel short films there, which was great to try and test it out. So I'll give you a little peekaboo, and I'm going to bring you along on that project as I do it. So it's going to be off-grid glamping to start off with, and I've spent the last year literally researching how to do all these things. It has been crazy intensive. So yay, new project. I feel like I need little sparkly bits. But that's something that I was like, I'm going to launch it this spring. It's going to be all ready. And I really realized by the beginning of winter, middle of last fall, that I think I talked about this, that I had too much on my plate and I didn't talk about what that all was. So I've kind of pushed back on that. Like, I'm okay with just making it, maybe have it take another year to launch that business, because it was just really stressing me out to try and do all these projects that I love, that bring me so much happiness. And I think that starting that business, it's actually, I think it's the biggest thing that made me realize how happy the kids and I are in the country, digging in dirt, planting trees, romping through the woods. And it made us realize that really long term where we see ourselves is somewhere beautiful and in the countryside. So we're working our way up to that, because it's just so exciting to have new projects. It's funny. When I was a little kid, my sister was reminding me of this. I used to talk about wanting to run my own spa, and this opportunity to buy this little piece of just raw, muddy land came up, and I was like, you know what? I didn't think I was going to launch this business or even start on it for another 5-10 years. And it came up, and I was like, oh, it's just, you ever just feel like it's totally the right path to take? And it did. And so we said, okay, let's do it. So we spent the last year kind of prepping it. We've been planting a little bit this winter of bare roots to get it ready. It is really a rough and tumble state right now. but it has taught us that homesteading is kind of where we want to go. Maybe not quite as raw and off the grid as this spot. So that's how I got to it. So it wasn't anything bad. It was actually really good, kind of just God's hand in all of it kind of thing, like unexpected. I wasn't necessarily looking for it. And then boom, I did, and it just fit perfectly, and I loved that about it. So I will bring you biscuits along as we kind of create this off the grid homestead for glamping and for families, because in the area that it's in, there's just not really anything like that for families to do, for mamas to come and be able to bring their kiddos and relax and have fun and play. It's a really expensive part of Western Washington, and I wanted to be able to offer that as a fun business idea, because you biscuits know that I'm a natural born entrepreneur. I have started and failed a publishing company and then become successful in my romance novels, individually writing them, and with YouTube and Instagram. And I really wanted to kind of do a real world thing where I get to engage with other mamas and their kids and participate with this fun thing. And it has been a huge learning curve, biscuits. Oh my goodness, I don't think I at all even partially understand how bells work yet, but I'm getting there. It has been crazy difficult, and you know, I'm in the process of literally hammering on shingles onto a shed, because I had a little tiny shed from Costco built by a handyman, and they kept raising their prices every day that they came, and kept saying they needed to keep coming back to do it, and it got so expensive I was like, you know what, I'll do it myself. So I'm in the slow process of literally standing on a ladder while the kids hang out at my feet and play, and trying to hammer and shingles, which if you would ask me 2 years ago if I was going to be doing that, I would have gone like, no, that's not my thing. So that's been our journey. That's how we started realizing that, oh, maybe homesteading is right for us. Was this kind of businessy opportunity came up, and it was something that I'd always dreamed of and had long-term planned for. And so we're just kind of doing it small scale, like we'll scale up slowly. And it made my son and I realize, my daughter's, you know, just now too, so she doesn't really quite realize it yet, but I can see it in her, how much we love being out in nature, and how much we would really like to be. I think a lot of world events have made me want to be really much more self-sufficient. It doesn't make me want to adventure any less or travel any less, but when I'm home, I really want to be able to go into my backyard and get my food and have my playtime and, you know, do all those kind of fun things. So we're going to see where life takes us. I say this now and you're going to laugh at me, because in a couple of years you're going to come back to this video and go, oh, Rose, look what you said. Because honestly, I didn't think would be here where we are now if you'd asked me like 3 or 4 years ago. In a good way. Like, it's just been a lot of serendipitous events have happened in the last 2-3 years that have been really beautiful and kind of opened us up to that. So that is why I'm homesteading. So tell me all of your favorite homesteading stories. If you homestead, do you wish that you could homestead? What was kind of your dream setup for that? You know, we're kind of, my son and I keep daydreaming together, like, oh, what would our dream, you know, my son calls it farming. What would our dream farming look like? And we are in no way farmers. I realize my limitations. I'm a photographer, I know this. But you know, what that back to nature kind of thing would be. And we'll see. Maybe we are gonna so love being in the city we can't bear to part with it. But we really kind of feel called to this, surprisingly so. And it's something we kind of have to work our way up to. And I'll be curious to see how that all goes. But I'm excited for it. I think that if anything, the last 12 months have taught me that sometimes you just have to let God show the path, you know, let the universe open up the path, and that you just got to go with it in that way. So I'm excited for that. It makes me really look forward to what adventures lay ahead. And you know me, biscuits, I love a good adventure. So come with me as we continue to talk about all things on the Wholesome Feed channel. Eclectically, I think so. Maybe I'm an eclectic person. I am going to see you over on Instagram. I'll see you on TikTok. Oh, don't forget, sign up to Patreon. There is some really fantastic content up there this month that I'm putting up. I'm opening up the other tiers because I had temporarily closed new enrollment for the tiers, and I got so many messages from you biscuits that you really missed those tiers. So I'm opening them back up. I am, you know, I have an attitude of abundance for you biscuits. I have made a really wonderful, super affordable tier, and I've made some higher tiers that are just these awesome self-care experience tiers where you just get to really integrate into that experience all month long. So go play, go have fun on Patreon. That is my happiness, is to see people have a good time on Patreon and interact and enjoy it. I've gotten back into the mostly weekly quiz nights on Friday night where we quiz and gossip and do live chats. I love it. I love getting to connect and have this sense of community on Patreon, because self-care is like the cornerstone to how I've been able to expand doing all these things and feel good with it and know when to like slow down and when I want to speed up and get something done. It's been so important. So I love sharing it with you, biscuits. I'll see you in the next video.